When James Staley was found guilty of capital murder this week, many said it was justice for 2-year-old Wilder McDaniel. But some of our viewers say more should have been done in the name of justice. Our digital reporter Josh Hoggard is joining us now with continuing coverage. Josh.
Now, Lauren, after years of protests, frustration, and public outcries, justice for Wilder was finally served on Monday after James Staley was sentenced to life in prison without parole for Wilder McDaniel's murder. However, many have expressed their belief that the sentence falls short of true justice. But that's not how the Wichita County District Attorney sees it. The capital murder trial of James Staley concluded on Monday with a guilty verdict returned by the jury. Wichita County District Attorney John Gillespie has been asked a slew of questions since returning home from Fort Worth. Perhaps none more than this one.
Why didn't you seek the death penalty on this case?
It's one of the 2 possible sentences for a capital murder conviction, but the prosecution took the death penalty off the table all the way back in 2021.
It's my decision to make, and I made that decision consulting with the family.
The issue of the death penalty is polarizing, both socially and politically, but Gillespie's stance isn't why he sought a different sentence for Staley.
I do believe in the death penalty, but I also wanted to be very smart about how we went about this prosecution.
The case lacked what Gillespie thinks a case needs to warrant a death sentence.
In this day and age, you do not want to seek death unless you have what they call a lay down at guilt innocence.
A single piece of direct evidence so strong that it leaves no question whatsoever.
We did not have a confession. We did not have an eyewitness.
Instead, Staley's case was built upon many pieces of compelling circumstantial evidence, each one a puzzle piece that forms one complete picture that proves his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
The fact that it was a circumstantial evidence case went into my thinking on whether or not to seek death.
Another issue Gillespie said he wanted to avoid altogether was turning this already highly publicized case into a way for Staley to become a celebrity.
Well, the Kardashians and everybody else lined up saying he's falsely accused. That's what they do on death penalty cases. The last thing I wanted to do would be to turn that psychopath into a martyr.
And based on what Gillespie knows about James Irvin Staley III,
he said in one of the text messages that he makes his own rules and no one can tell him what to do.
Forcing him to live without the power and control he's always known is a sentence worse than death.
Frankly, with a guy that has been in charge of everything, that's called the shots, living in a cell like the animal that he is for the rest of his life, being told by other people what to do, I think that's probably the worst thing that could happen to him.
Now, our district attorney shared several thoughts with us about the trial, from the evidence that changed the game to his unfiltered thoughts on James Staley. You can find our full 30-minute conversation in its entirety on our website, Texomashomepage.com.
Okay, Josh, thank you very much for that story.